Well, I'm not going to make many friends with this opinion. Yes, well, I know a lot of people are excited about Five Nights at Freddy's 3, saying, oh, it's a great game, it's the best of the series, yada yada yada. I personally don't think so. Now, before any of you get mad at me, I'm not saying the game's bad. It's not. It's just not that good. I don't hate the game, but out of the three of them, it's the one I like the least. Now, to anybody who loves this game, and good for you, but don't want to hear anything negative about it, I don't think you're really going to like this video. So, anyway, for the 4 people that decided to stay, here's what I thought about Five Nights 3. Now, I'm going to go through the negatives first, get them out of the way, and I will talk about the positives, because there are positives. Now, first off, personally, my biggest issue is that it's boring. To me, anyway. And when I mean boring, I mean it was scary to begin with. I did get scared the first few times. I was jump scared. But after a while, you catch on to the triggers and they become predictable. You know when they're going to happen. And that's something I don't like. I don't like how there's triggers, how before Balloon Boy jump scares you, his face appears on the camera, the second you look down, he's there. I don't like that. It becomes more of a nuisance after a while. You become annoyed because what if you're at the end of a really difficult night and then out of nowhere Chica or Balloon Boy jump up and it completely ruins your game. I find it kind of rage inducing, to be honest, more than anything. But yeah, they become predictable and you become sort of immune to them after a while, and that's one thing that the original games did well, the first two. Even though the jump scares, they could become predictable if you knew when they were coming, but there were times where it would still catch you off, like you weren't expecting them, and they still give me a fright whenever I play that game. Once in a while, it can catch me off guard, but it's mainly with Springtrap. That's the only one that catches me off guard when I'm not expecting it, and the fact that he can jump scare you from both right and left is quite threatening, because he could be either on that side or that side. But for the rest of them, like the hallucinations, you see it coming, and I don't like that. Now, my second problem, only having one animatronic coming after you, in my opinion, is not as frightening as the other games. Let's really think about this. In the first game, you have 5 animatronics if you count Golden Freddy. In the second game, you have the originals, the toys, Golden Freddy, and the puppet. Overall, that's 10 animatronics. So, you have those many coming after you in the first game and the second game. How many do you have in 3? Only 1. That's a problem for me. I found it much more frightening and a lot more intense when you had more animatronics to contend with. Like if you're chasing Bonnie, you could miss Chica coming into your office and jump scaring you. With Springtrap, you only have to follow him. And like I said before, he could still get me off guard if I'm not expecting it, but still, my opinion, not as scary. And the third thing, and this is personally my biggest problem, and you're gonna think I'm insane saying this, it doesn't feel like a legitimate Five Nights sequel. To me, it feels like a Five Nights clone, and when I say Five Nights clone, you know, you watch enemies on camera, you use doors, you save power. Oh wait, Scott doesn't do that. Well, never mind then. But I digress. The basic idea of Five Nights at Freddy's, but in a different concept, like Five Nights at Treasure Island or Five Nights at Flumpy's, which is my favourite Five Night clone, by the way, or Five Nights at Wario's, which I never played, I don't think I will, and I don't know, let me think about this. The first 2 games were based in a child-friendly restaurant. Now, then the third game is in a horror attraction. Now, in a children's restaurant, it made it more unsettling for me, as the setting of a child-friendly, happy, go-lucky, bright, colourful restaurant, and then all these horrible murders and animatronics coming after you. The setting and the horror elements juxtapose each other, make you much more threatening and scary. But in the third one, you're in a horror attraction that already has an established atmosphere of being eerie and scary and deep and unsettling. And Springtrap himself, with a really cool design, by the way, I have to give him credit for that. Springtrap does look amazing. He's already scary. It's scary piled on top of more scary, which doesn't really work for me. Personally, it doesn't. Now, kudos to Scott for going for a new angle, and yes, he has actually succeeded in some elements, and I'll get to them in a minute, but I don't feel as though I'm playing Five Nights. It feels like a clone, or a standalone game, and personally, I would have preferred it if it was a clone. And one more little thing that bugs me, and that is, where in the name of Rabbi Burns is Bonnie the Bunny? Really? He was my favourite out of all of them, and Scott built him up so much throughout the original games. I made a full video of it on Google Plus and YouTube. You can go and find it in my channel if you want to look at it. No, don't you dare. Close the comments box. I'm not listening. I do not believe that Springtrap is Bonnie. Okay, so please, don't bombard me with questions and your own theories and the likes. I will explain myself, just in a different video. I just want to get this out of the way first anyway. Okay. Enough of my bitching and whining. What is good about the game? Because there are some good elements and stuff I like. First off, like the other ones, the game looks great. And for an indie title, it looks very smooth and detailed, and it shows that Scott really put a lot of effort into this. And the fact it's made on a 2D game making software is also very impressive. I love the design on Springtrap, and I love the phantom animatronics. Even though the jump scares get old, they still look threatening. And yes, I still get a fright whenever I see Foxy or Freddy outside my window. And I love the fact that the animatronics can actually move. You can see Springtrap move in front of the window, or he's in the office. I love that. That's brilliant. And the overall atmosphere is good. I know I complained about it earlier, but I like it. It can get pretty tense and eerie at times. For me, it becomes the best when Springtrap's nowhere near you. Nothing's been triggered, and all you have is the ambience. That is really good for me. That's another thing I have to mention. I love the sound design. Although there isn't an awful lot to hear, the sound really fits the mood of the game. Not to mention the scream that Springtrap makes, which, like basically any other person, would make you jump out of your seat when you first hear it. It is quite scary. I still think the Five Nights 1 scream is scarier, but I'm just nitpicking now. And once again, Scott does a great job with the story to create this mystery that surrounds the game. He still hasn't given out the name of the culprit of the Bite of 87, which is a good thing, and I applaud him for keeping it a secret for so long. And who is the purple guy? Like, who is actually the purple guy, if it's anybody we know? I know there's a lot of theories, but nothing's been said yet. And the story is simple yet detailed enough for people to draw up their own conclusions, which is good. I like that. That is really good. Great for an indie title. Great for the fact that this game was made by one guy. That's another thing. Scott does a great job on these games. He makes them quick, they're good, and he just does a bang on job. And I also like the added challenge of having to deal with a maintenance pad. That was good. I liked that. And it makes it a lot more intense when you know Springtrap's near you, but the ventilation's out and there's nothing you can do except for fix the pad, and the fact when you put the pad down, he could be there. That does actually get my heart going. And the twist about Springtrap in the edge, which I won't give away for like the 3 people that don't know, it will leave you feeling a little bit unsettled, which is a good thing, because like I said, I don't find the game scary, but I do like that. I think I can sum it up as what's good in it is really good, but I find the game rather redundant, a bit boring, a bit predictable, and it doesn't feel like Five Nights at Freddy's. That's just my opinion. I don't find them as scary as the first 2. The first 2 was great. I don't think it's a bad game. I really don't. I just find it a little weak compared to the other ones. I know there's going to be a 4th game coming out, and Scott, I love you, man. I really do, but I'm not sure about this, if a 4th game is really a good idea. I guess I can't stop you. I'm only one person, and you're probably already in the process of making it. I guess I'll just have to wait until it comes. Who knows? It might be a pleasant surprise. Well, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, if you stuck around long enough to hear me ramble, and I will see you in the next video. So long, guys. Cheers.